Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. A happy Memorial Day. So this next week I have two graduation related events to tend to. First, it's our 20th anniversary, and I won't be attending in person. First of all, I made a lot of enemies when I was in high school. And It's been a while, but I do want to. They're doing a slideshow, and I do want to send pictures of what I've been up to, especially my art projects, and especially Legos, because everybody can relate to Legos. My generation, especially. Not too many people are gonna be able to relate to. You guys remember I did some math puzzles with the paper. Some people have worked with arts work like that, but not very many people. The class that I graduated with, a few people were really good at math in the school that I went to, and certainly almost nobody will relate to the strategic metal that I was working with that was almost as rare as gold, right? But I'll still send pictures of what I've been doing there. I do hope to put together some additional pictures as well. But 20 years, I have a hard time believing 20 years have gone by. When I think about the last 20 years, the main highlights were obviously all the art that I've done, culminating in the Lego projects right now. Obviously, the Computer Olympiad. I quit drinking soda ever since leaving. Well, I had already left high school. I started college early when I quit drinking soda and cleaned up my diet. And Also, I recently started talking to a number of celebrities, if you could believe it. Those are the main highlights. I also got over my fear of flying, obviously. I developed a huge 9/11 happened my first year in high school, and I didn't want to fly. I even told my parents I never want to fly again. Actually, it was really upsetting because after 9/11, I thought, you know what? When I grow up, flying will be so much faster. We were living in Pittsburgh. Our family, my grandparents were living in Taiwan. The flight from Pittsburgh to Taiwan takes 20 hours. And I was hoping that one day we could fly to Taiwan in half an hour. And I could maybe put up with that, right? It would be like a theme park ride. It would be over fast. Unfortunately, we had just had 9/11 happen. I was thinking, okay, maybe one day flying will be faster. But then 2 years later, Columbia crashed. And so that now I didn't like fast flights either. And 20 years later, we still don't have them, at least not commercially, right? And so those are the main highlights. Now, 20 years later, you see, I mentioned I made a number of enemies when I was in high school. I didn't have, I did obviously I didn't have a high school sweetheart, but now I get to be somebody's high school sweetheart. So I teach at a community college, and one of my students is going to the college part-time. She was still going to high school. She had a huge crush on me. She graduates high school now, but she and I shared a lot of. I got a little bit uncomfortable earlier this year because she and I are friends on Facebook and Instagram, and one night at 3, 4 in the morning, she starts sharing with me some pains that she is feeling. They're female related kind of pains. I hate to say what they are. And so I don't know why she shared it with me. I almost wanted to pretend I didn't see the text because I didn't know how to respond to it. And I just said I wish her well and pretended to not even understand what it was, right? After all, I'm a mathematician, right? There are a lot of things that I don't understand, right? And fortunately, she let it go when she realized I really didn't understand. I wish you well, hope you feel better. I kept it at that kind of level. But last April, we had a carnival at the school, and I was going to go to the carnival to protest because I often feel I get treated differently when I go to events like that alone, right? And I was telling everybody around me about the protest. I was kind of getting myself ready for it. I knew it would not go down smoothly, right? It would require me to have to speak uncomfortable things. My student said she would come with me so I wouldn't have to protest. What she doesn't understand is that the purpose of the protest isn't just so I can get on the rides, right? It would be kind of like, Rosa Parks, she didn't just dye her skin in order to sneak on the bus, right? She actually wanted to speak up about it, right? I think my student hasn't gone that far yet, so, but it's okay. We had a good time anyway. And so 20 years later, apparently I haven't aged a day, so I'm very pleased about that. And I'm very pleased to have had a second chance to be somebody's high school sweetheart. And at the same time, I'm very pleased that despite making a couple of enemies in high school, the person organizing the graduation is still excited about my artwork, and hopefully I'll network with the right people. A lot of times, these art projects, what makes or breaks them is the right connection, right? So I'm trying to shoot myself out there. You know, my goal is there are 8 billion people on the planet, right? If I try to connect with as many of the 8 billion as possible, there's a good chance I will find somebody who will make or break the art projects, who will become my life partner, who will become career partners, and all the rest, right? All the good stuff out there, right? And so that's why it's very important for me to get, even though the high school reunion, chances are everybody's forgotten me, and the odds are nothing's going to happen, right? But it's very easy for me to shoot my shots out there. There's going to be dozens of people at the place, and who knows, right? Maybe I'll find the right person to network with my art, with my computer Olympiad stuff, with my chemistry projects. You guys remember last year when I extracted polonium 210 from the dust in our. I'll probably put together a demonstration of that as well. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum.